A firefly.
A pixie.
Amazing. What's the pixie doing?
Michael, are you sure that's a pixie? Because I'm pretty sure Jane thinks she's a fairy.
And I especially don't believe in fairies.
Okay, Disney, so which is it? Tinkerbell lives in Pixie Hollow, but is part of the Disney Fairies franchise. She is given the title of Tinker Fairy, but sprinkles pixie dust. Hello, I'm Isaac from What's So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people, and today, with a little faith, trust, and some pixie dust, we are going to attempt to discover if Tinkerbell is a pixie or a fairy. If you'd like to learn more about Tinkerbell, I've provided all of the links to the movies and the resources I used in the description. And to continue discussing Disney with me, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Alright. I'm sure some of you think the answer is obvious, and I think if you really keep up with Disney, you might know. But honestly, when I saw this question pop up when I was doing research into my last Tinkerbell video on her mysterious sister, I couldn't off the top of my head give a definitive answer. I am thinking about Disney like 25/8, and I figured if I was in the dark, someone else probably is too. Now, before we look into the Tinkerbell lore, let's begin this journey into Neverland by pulling out some history behind magical creatures. This ancient text will give us all the answers we need, at least on the folktales. Although Disney has been using the word pixie and fairy interchangeably, which has honestly made me believe pixies and fairies were synonymous, in traditional folklore that can't be done, for they were separate entities. They were so different, in fact, they were even said to occasionally be at war against one another. Gosh, that sounds so cute. Two little tiny armies. Pew, 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 pew. Let's start out with what is a pixie. Well, in folklore, pixies are said to be short of stature, wild, childlike creatures with pointed ears, and are often described without little or no clothing. In addition, they were frequently described to be born similarly to human reproduction methods. Okay, that's oddly specific, but it kind of relates back to Tinkerbell, so let's continue. Pixies were born like humans, but did not live like them. The 19th century English poet Nora Chesson stated pixies as knowing no sorrow or fear, and she was quoted in saying, "Age lays no finger on them. The reaper time goes by the pixies. They who change not, nor grow old or die." In other words, pixies were immortal little creatures with little regard for everyone else. They could be calm or mischievous, rewarding or torturous. Their presence either brought comeuppance or blessings, depending on the behaviors of humans around them. For instance, they have both been known to help humans find love and steal people's horses. Now that you understand what a pixie is, let's see what a fairy was said to be. Especially since in 1850, Thomas Keightley observed that much of Devon pixie mythology may have originated from fairy myth. Fairies possess a human appearance to them, normally possess magical powers, and always had the ability to fly, whether that be using insect wings in Victorian depictions or simply through magic. In addition, the mythology of fairies states they are immaterial, malevolent spirit forces who some believe to have originated from a world of their own. Maybe like a place far off in the stars, maybe to land just past the second star to the right. Fairies are said to range in size from very teeny tiny up to the size of a small child. However, their small size is sometimes believed to be able to be manipulated using magic. And of course, the most interesting piece of knowledge on fairies is some depictions of fairies wear some type of footwear, but others don't. Shocking, isn't it? That's all we need from you today, Pixie Book. Tinkerbell has the behavior of a pixie for sure. When she is upset with Wendy, she rains down hard. While because she loves Peter, she would do anything to protect him. Other than her pointed ears though, the similarities between Tink and pixies kind of stops. Tinkerbell is born of the laugh of a child and was created within the otherworldly realm of Neverland rather than being born like a human. She also has the insect-like wings and possesses magical powers which are used to manipulate the seasons and allows some people to fly. Tinkerbell seems to be more like a fairy. Although there is many similarities between Tink and folklore fairies, there's still one big issue. She uses pixie dust and lives in Pixie Hollow. Why would Tink be a fairy if she lives in a place named after pixies and uses pixie dust? Well, actually, the Disney Fairies storybook do a great job at explaining this odd contradiction. See, pixie dust gets its name not by being produced by Tinkerbell and her kind, but by the tree which creates it, the pixie dust tree. Thus, you can't label Tink as a pixie just because she utilizes pixie dust, especially since there is such a thing as fairy dust. Fairy dust is created by Tinkerbell's kind by grinding the molten feathers of a wise, powerful bird called Mother Dove. Since pixie dust is made by pixies, it would stand to reason fairy dust would be created by fairies, which again supports Tinkerbell being a fairy. The truth is, fairy is the term Tink's people use to describe themselves, which explains why Tinkerbell is a part of the Disney Fairies franchise.
Come forward, Tinker Fairies.
Fairy Mary will want to meet you.
What if a warm fairy brought it here?
But why then did Wendy refer to Tinkerbell as a pixie? Honestly, I just think it is because, like me, Wendy just kind of thought pixies and fairies were the same thing. She probably wasn't for sure or may have heard Peter's stories with Tink incorrectly. After visiting Neverland and meeting Tinkerbell though, she corrected Tink's species when telling Pan's tales, which we know because her daughter knew just what Tink was, even if she didn't believe in them. When I initially was asked whether Tinkerbell was a pixie or a fairy, I honestly wasn't sure. But by looking at folktale descriptions of these mythical creatures, realizing pixie dust only received its name because of the pixie dust tree, noticing Tink referred to her people as fairies, and understanding Wendy's descendants referred to Tink as a fairy, it became clear Tinkerbell was a fairy. If you enjoyed theorizing on Tinkerbell, then click that like button, and if you are interested in staying up to date with more magical Disney fairy videos, then click that subscribe button and click that notification button. So now it's time for the question of the day, sponsored by my patrons. Do you agree with me that Tinkerbell is a fairy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you'd like to see more Watso videos, then check out some awesome pics over here. And as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.